Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the one and only Kharlie Brown. I'm here today to jump into my top five. Haven't did a top five in a while. So this top five today is bittersweet. It's bitter because I gotta talk about somebody I really cannot stand. Somebody on the face of the planet who I really do not care for. It's not that many people on the face of the planet who I can honestly say that I'm like, man, that guy is terrible, or that woman is just a terrible person, and them walking on the face of the planet, taking up the oxygen that belongs to another good, upright soul is just terrible. Okay, so me even saying those words makes me feel bad to say that. Okay, but fact of the matter is, the person I'm about to talk about is now. Here's the thing: there's two Steves that I know inside. One inside politics, the other one inside Hollywood. By Hollywood, I mean a writer. And the writer I'm talking about is Stephen King. Stephen King has gave us so many beautiful things that are actually terrifying us. However, I'm not scared of that Stephen King. I'm not frightened by him. He does say some crazy stuff sometimes. But he's just weird crazy. Weird crazy is all right. I can do weird crazy. I'm weird crazy. But the Steve that I'm talking about, it's not a Steven. It's just Steve King. And the Iowa Republican representative, Steve King, that's who we're about to jump into today. Now, he was a representative, but he had just been dethroned. That's right. And his Republican has just dethroned him. And now it's going to be a Republican going against a Democrat to take that Senate, to take that Republican seat in the House. Now, here's the problem. Here's the thing. It's not a problem. It's just a joyous occasion because Steve King is a terrible, terrible person. Like I said before, he's crazy, but he's not the weird crazy that I was talking about. He's not the acceptable crazy that we like in the world. He's not that kind of crazy. It's like, I can sit here and eat Neapolitan ice cream and watch this guy all day. No, he's not that crazy. He's not been crazy where you're like, okay, lock all my doors because it comes at night. That's the kind of crazy he is. So let's jump into this right now. My top five is the 5 things. Hello, Chio. That's my cat. No, Chio, I'm doing a video right now. Oh, okay. I'll deal with you in a second. I'm going to edit all this out. Please, Chio, I need a minute. Can I get a minute, please? Okay, thank you. All right, so I talked to my cat. And so I only got one cat. I'm not like a cat lady or a cat guy. Anyway, the thing is, we're gonna talk about the top 5 crazy, not weird crazy, but crazy things this man has said. And here we go. Let's jump into it. Number 5. He said, Steve King said that putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill is racist. Now, the U.S. was like, well, we're going to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. They sat there, they voted on it, they made a plan for it. Then all of a sudden, Trump gets into office, and then he's like, nah, bro, I can say how I really feel. That's racist. Okay. It's racist to put a black woman on the face of money when we already have a bunch of white males on the face of money, but somehow putting one black woman on the face of money to represent someone black or to represent black people in that said country is somehow that's racist. I told you, he's crazy, not weird crazy, but crazy. Now, that's the craziest part. There's so many people who sit in the House of Representatives that you have to point out the crazy of this one person. You stand out in the crowd, bro. But anyway, that was number 5. Excuse me. Number 4. He said, we can't restore our civilization with someone else's babies. Okay, so he was saying that because at that time there were a lot of he was talking about minorities and a lot of minorities being over here in our country, and somehow he got into this whole kick because you can there's people that say that eventually the number of minorities are going to keep growing. Okay, so eventually, black, let's say African Americans. Okay, eventually there's going to be a lot more Africans in America than what they are African Americans or blacks in America than what they are white. So the group that was predominantly in charge, and they're basically their power is going to shift, and he's one of those people that's fearful of that. And I think that's why there's a lot of Republicans that are against abortions, because originally I think that I feel they didn't predict and they didn't think that it's going to be this many minorities. They're going to be like, nah, I don't really want to have abortions, because there's a lot more white women having abortions. And by that happening, the number of growth and within the white community is not going up. Now, I'm going by his logic, okay? This is his logic. So he's upset by that, okay? The number of mixed children is starting to go up. The number of black children it's always been. But the thing is, he's upset by that. So he feels as though his race is being, or who he is being wiped out because of the number of minorities that are still having babies. I'm just trying to figure out his logic in that. I mean, because a baby being born is a beautiful thing, okay? No matter what race, no matter what minority, no matter what group, no matter what, it's a beautiful thing, okay? That baby being born into the world, and hopefully it's going to be loved, because a lot of times babies are born into situations where they end up with parents that can't control the situation. They end up being abused. They end up with people who really don't want to have children, or they end up, not being wanted. But it's just, man, it's a lot. Anyway, let's jump into the next one. Number 3. He said that white people have contributed more to the advancement of the human civilization. And while saying that, he vomited these words: minorities or subgroups haven't contributed to Western civilization. So people like me have not contributed anything, apparently, to Western civilization. So I'm just going to do a show about everything that people that are like me has done to contribute to Western civilization, to the world, to human civilization. Apparently, he doesn't know history and he can't read. So there's pretty much nothing more we can say on number 3. So let's jump into number 2. While trying to argue against dreamers. Okay, so dreamers are those children that their families came into America. They didn't really have citizenship, or they didn't have citizenship, and then the babies were born, or they came in. Or they came in as babies. I'm sorry, they came in as babies, not like they were born, because that's a different subject. But they came in, and at this point now they're older, they have jobs and everything, and they're like, cool. You guys are dreamers. You guys got your citizenship. We're not worried about you guys. Your parents came in. You came from a bad situation. Blah blah blah. So he was trying to argue against dreamers, okay, and said that undocumented immigrants have calves the size of cantaloupes from smuggling marijuana across the border. I'm gonna say it again. Undocumented immigrants have calves the size of cantaloupes from smuggling marijuana across the border. Why are they smuggling marijuana across the border when we already got it over here in America? There's people that's growing marijuana in America. Like, just Like, for example, years ago, Jay Leno had a bunch of this cannabis just like in his backyard. When the police came in, they just savaged it. So, and he didn't even try to grow that. It was just back in the back, apparently. So you just think that those guys work out. They got some sexy calves. But there's got to be a reason for it. Not because they're hard working. Nah, that can't be it. Not because they get on a treadmill and run every day. Nah, that can't be it. What can it be? I got it. Those sons of bitches, they bringing in marijuana. And they going back and getting more. It's like a triathlon. They're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Swim, swim, swim. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Swim, swim, swim. Especially how he's seeing things in his head the size of cantaloupes. All right, man, get out of here. Whoa, that's right. He is out of here. Now, number one. The number one craziest, not red, not black, not purple, but blue, hell, crazy, outrageous thing that this man has ever said. Oh, Lord, I'm about to start sweating. Here we go. Number one. Here we go. Number one. What if we went back through all the family trees and just pulled out anyone who were the product of rape or incest? Would there be any population of the world left if we did that? Hold on. Listen. I don't think you hear me now. I don't think you hear me. Understand. You in the back, hat seat. You over there, give me some water. Okay. All right, let's get this now. Okay, so what he's saying here, because he's trying to argue against abortion. And while trying to argue against abortion, he said, what if we went back through all the family trees? Everybody, okay? Everybody. So I'm just going to say, since he said all, we going to say everybody. Everybody. Okay, so black, white, Cuban, Asian, everybody, okay? Now, I don't know for sure if he was only talking about white, but I'm going to say that he's not just talking about white, that he's also talking about black and Cuban and Asian. Pardon me. Now, I'm going to say this because I'm trying to get in the frame of mind of this crazy mind. So, when he says, what if, let's break it down now. What if, yes, we go back through, all right now, all the family trees. Yes, every tree that's planted outside of the door, outside of the mind's eye, every tree that we can see from miles away. So we see every single last one of these trees out here, and every apple and every lime. Excuse me, and every bushel of banana that's on the tree. And we look at each one as an individual. And when we look at it, we say, okay, now let's just pull out everyone who were the products of rape. And by rape, we mean forcing yourself upon someone sexually, but in a violent way without them saying yes or giving you the okay to enter their body, their domain. And then incest is like as though the tree with the apple and the other apple are eating one another when they could have fell off the tree and went down there up under to make another apple tree so that we can build another family tree. Do you understand me? Okay, so what if we take those apples and bushels of bananas off and say, this one's slightly look like it's been ripped, and by ripped, we mean damaged, and we're going to take this off and throw that away, and then we're going to take this one and say that this is a product of incestual delight, and we're going to take this and say, no, this is bad, we're going to throw you away. So we throw that away too. So when that's gone, now, this is what he's saying. Would there be any population of the world left if we did So by his train of thought, back in the day, there must have been a lot of trees that were being kept. And the people that were keeping these trees were going around getting handsy. And by handsy, they were taking apples and bananas and fruit all off the trees and just molesting, biting, and touching every single last thing that they can see within their own family and within their own tree. If they wanted something, they just went out and said, hey, I'm going to get that. So from what he's saying to me, seems as though he is trying to imply that there are so many people then that were raped or molested or in sexual touched or forced upon back then, that he's questioning who would be around. Because he said also, because I didn't put it in here, but he also said that he could be the product of rape or incest and he doesn't know it. All jokes aside, Steve King, you are what we like to call a trash person, okay? You are a horrible person. I don't think there's no redemption for you down this road that you have chosen to walk on your own. Every brick that you put down on your pathway, you had an opportunity to make sure there wasn't any cracks, any weeds growing up within those cracks, but you allowed it to just grow like wildfire. And now there's weeds and dead trees and bad cracks all over the place because you chose not to try to make it better. So, Steve King, not Stephen King, because Stephen King is weird crazy, like me. But Steve King, you're crazy. Your type of crazy. Your outrageously crazy self. Crazy. It's time for you to depart. I hope to never hear from you again, Steve King. We bid you adieu and a farewell. And we sing the song to you to say bye-bye. Na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na. Hey. Goodbye. If you can pick up what I'm putting down, around the town, Kharlie Brown. Ta-ta. Na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na. Hey. Goodbye. Na-na-na.
Of the